The finance industry has a lot of certifications you can get. There's all the series licenses if you go to wealth management. You have the CFA, CFP, the CPA. And chances are, unless you're a finance student or you're in the industry, you probably don't even know what any of these certifications mean. Meaning, if you have clients in the future, are they really going to know the difference? So, in today's video, I just want to go over all these certifications, specifically the CFA versus CFP, because those are two certifications that I'm looking to get in my career. We're going to go over the differences, the pay potential, AI effects in the future, and which one you can really use to leverage up your career. So a little about me before we get started in this video. I'm a finance major. I have one more year left to get my degree, and I do have a Series 65, which a Series 65 is just a license where I can provide investment advice if I wanted to do personal wealth management. But after thinking about my career and what I want to do after my degree, I don't know if wealth management is for me, which is why I'm making this video comparing these certifications because it is kind of a lot to grasp. And if you can have a certification out of undergrad, it's really going to help you stand out in your resume and networking and potentially getting a career that you want to go down. And another confusing thing about these certifications is some of them are very narrow industry. So CFP, Certified Financial Planner, if you get that one, you're pretty much just looking at wealth management. But if you get the CFA, which is a Chartered Financial Analyst, there's actually 2 or 3 different careers you can go down, which we'll talk about later in this video. And in today's specific video, I want to go over CFA versus CFP, where my mindset was at in the last 3 years and which one I'm going to pursue and why, and just personalities you have and which one matches. As I said before in this video, we're going to specifically look at the CFA versus CFP. Now, to start with, most people in this world, the average Joe, they're not going to know what a CFA or a CFP is. So it's good to understand who your clients are going to be, whether they're personal clients, aka CFP is probably better, or institutional. If you go that route, then the CFA is going to be better, which we'll dive deeper into later in the video. But the point is, before we dive any deeper, is you need to understand, unless someone is in the finance industry, they're not going to know what a CFA or a CFP even is, even though they're both prestigious. They both have a lot of respect in the industry, and they're both really well worth pursuing once you get it. But just understand that first. I think this slide right here does a pretty good job differentiating. I think this slide I made right here does a good job comparing the CFA to the CFP. The CFA is really investment analyst and portfolio management. So chart holders, they specialize in financial analysts and investment management for institutional clients. So I want you to think they're dealing with big banks, they're dealing with billions of dollars instead of $1 million retirement portfolio. It's bigger. There's usually a lot more risk involved, meaning you have to understand the risk and all the complicated statistics and risk factors when it comes to the market, which is why the CFA goes deeper into that, and usually harder to get in the CFP, but we'll talk about that a little later. But as I said, CFAs, they usually include investment banks, hedge funds, asset management firms, and corporate treasury. And to be completely frank, many majors want to get into this industry. They want to get into hedge funds, they want to get into asset management. But if you're going to be a manager in a mutual fund company, you either have to have a master's in finance or you have to have a CFA. So it really does open up a lot of doors. And if you're an undergrad and you're getting a finance degree like I am right now, the coursework kind of goes hand in hand with each other. Unlike the CFP, where your undergrad is a little bit overkill for personal finance. And at the end of the day, I think wealth management and becoming a financial advisor, I think it's more of a relationship business than it is actually understanding deep finance because people need relationships when it comes to their money. As I said, CFP professionals, they focus on comprehensive financial planning for individuals. They serve as financial advisors, wealth managers, and financial planners. And they just help clients with retirement planning, estate planning, tax optimization, and education savings. Now, both of these credentials kind of open up the doors for many industries, but I think the CFA you're going to have a little bit more room to go down which industry you like. There's CFAs in wealth management, asset management, even corporate roles, while CFP, you're pretty much locked into the relationship business because it's more of an understanding of personal finance and relationships. And as I said, later in this video, we're going to go down pay. We're going to look at the AI aspects of these two, which one's more in threat. And we're going to look at personality types and which one you should probably pursue in your degree or after your degree. Or maybe you're someone old and you want to get another certification, which and this industry, we kind of call it alphabet soup, but the more letters you have next to your name, the better. Anyway, moving on. Here are your clients. So the CFA, like I said earlier, it's institutional. You're dealing with big money. It's asset allocation, portfolio management for banks, investment firms, corporations. It's very more corporate like. CFP, Certified Financial Planner, it's individual client relationships. You're holding their hands in their finances, or if someone has a loan, or if someone wants to get to retirement. In my opinion, with the CFP, you have to be really good at identifying people's problems, but giving the solution to their problems too. Because if you can't give them a good solution, you can't articulate it good, which personally I don't think I'm the best at, then they're just going to go to another CFP professional and choose them. So it's kind of like a sales job. All right, now we're going to go over the education requirements. Buckle up, people, because both of these are really hard to get, but I think one is harder. Now, the CFA, both these you have to have a bachelor's degree, right? The CFA, you have to have 4 years of investment decision making experience. So even me right now in undergrad, and I have an internship right now in a wealth management firm, I'm still not making investment decision making experience, so I haven't even started the timer for that yet. So if I were to pass all 3 exams, say right now, I still can't put the CFA next to my name because of the 4 years of experience. In the CFP, you can see they have to have 6 hours of experience or 4,000 if they have apprenticeship, but both require a lot of experience. CFA, a little bit more. The CFA, too, you have to pass 3 really hard exams. And these exams, you can look it up on forums and people complaining about them. They are extremely hard. So the CFA, you got to pass 3. CFP, you have to have an education program. But from what I hear, there's sources like Dalton or Danko. But usually, the education requirement I've not heard is a struggle. And you do have to pass a comprehensive exam. But overall, I would say the exams to the CFA are harder because they require 1,000 study hours, which is just insane. And if we look at the pass rates, you can just see here, there's 3 levels, right? Level 1, you're looking at 35% pass rate. That weeds out a lot of people, you'd think, but no. Level 2, 44%, and level 3, 47%. So it makes sense it gets better as you go along each level because it's more serious candidates, but still under a 50% pass rate is just insane. And in my opinion, too, as someone who's trying to use my education as leverage with the CFA, it just seems like a risk, especially if you're not getting a finance undergrad where you spend so much time, all these hours studying. It's a lot of money to sit for these exams too. It's over $1,000 just to sit, and you may not even pass. So it is a little risky, but if you understand it, you study it deep enough, which I plan to have more videos in the future about the CFA. So if you're interested, just subscribe. Look in the description. May have a newsletter, but it is both the CFP and the CFA are hard to get. The CFA is almost next level because it's just deeper than the CFP. And as we can see with this slide right here, the CFA usually takes 2.5 to 4 years, while CFP takes about 1 year. In fact, if you already have the education requirement in your undergrad, because I know some colleges do offer it, then all you have to do is sit for the exam and pass it, and then you just have to have the experience. Now, before we go over the earning potential for both of these certifications, understand earning potential, it really comes down to who you, a little bit of luck, where you are, your just overall experience, different being a 55-year-old compared to someone like me who's 20. But we'll go ahead and look at the statistics anyway. So as you can see with the CFA, the median salary is 180K, while CFP, the median salary is 192K. Right below those two numbers, you can see the ranges and the years of experience. But here's what I have to say about the CFP. The CFP, like I said, is a relationship business and it's very cutthroat. So if you get your CFP and you become a financial advisor or planner and you work for a firm, usually you get paid a small percentage of the amount you have under management. So in your lifetime, as you grow that, so does your income. It's a nice scaling thing. But if you're not good at it, after 5 years, you're probably going to switch your career to something else, which is why I think these numbers are a little off for the CFP. Because if you have many years of experience as a CFP and you're actually good at what you do and you're good at sales, getting clients, prospecting, then you're naturally going to have really good income. But not everyone makes it and they go do something else. So you really have to think, all right, do I want to do sales? Because personally, I'm not a huge salesy person. I don't think I do a great job articulating people's problems and giving them the solution. My brain's more analytical, which is more of the CFA. Now, both have excellent earnings potential. And quite frankly, compared to the degree, if you were to get a certification like this, it's really going to help you out in your career and just have more leverage. Now, another question I get often too is if you can have both credentials. And the answer is absolutely. In fact, at the small RIA I intern for right now, there is an advisor who has a CFA and a CFP. Because if you have a CFP, you're good at financial planning. A CFA, you're good with all the investments in it. So there's many wealth management firms, RIAs, that are starting to hire more CFAs. And CFAs are a little bit harder to come by nowadays because the CFP is having a flood in the market. Everyone, it seems like, wants to become a financial planner. CFA, there's less supply of them in wealth management because, first of all, there's less people sitting for the exams year after year. And second, if you get a CFA, you may go work at a bank or asset management or some sort of fund. Well, personal wealth management firms, they're like, we need CFAs to do our investments. So the point I'm trying to make is you can have both. And you can go in wealth management and have a CFA, you're really going to stand out. And who knows, you can maybe do something analytical, something that I like more, spending more time in Excel, doing more math stuff, not having to talk to people as much, but you can maybe still get paid as you scale that amount under management in your firm. Because an RIA, wealth management firm, it grows two different ways, right? It grows its revenue two different ways. One is it goes out, prospects, and gets new clients under management. That's your CFPs. Those are your salespeople. The second way they grow is their actual investments. You can't have all these clients and have a crappy 2-3% return where you're not even beating out inflation, which is where the CFA professional is going to come in. They're going to assess the risk. They're going to pick the investments. They're going to grow it based on the volatility that the clients are okay with handling because some people don't like their investments having huge corrections. So, and over time, they're going to grow them out under management. So a CFA professional in wealth management can be just as valuable as a CFP. Yet many people are deciding to get CFPs. So I think this slide just does a good job on summarizing which one you should choose. I think a CFA, you have more options. You have asset management, analyst. You can still do wealth management too. While like CFP, as I said 1,000 times, it's more just wealth management and more of a sales job. It's just a nice certification you put next to your name to make yourself look a little smarter in front of the clients. But at the end of the day, I guarantee a client's not even going to know the difference between CFP next to your name in your email versus CFA. To them, it's all the same. In fact, I'd say the most popular one's probably CPA, but that's accounting and tax. So as I said, I have about one more year in my finance degree. I'm learning a lot. And what I've noticed is the CFA curriculum is very similar to a finance underdegree. And I'm also having accounting as my collateral. So I plan to make more videos like this about the finance industry and if you're getting a degree or you're in the industry. But I may make more videos too on deeper analysts like videos, Excel, what I'm invested in. Might start a Substack, share some tips. But if any of that sounds interesting, just subscribe to the channel. Obviously, I'm a very small YouTuber and it's very hard for someone like me to get out there. And if you like the video, it pushes my video out. It takes you 2 seconds. Most people have short attention spans and they can't even do that. So if you do it, thank you, because I guess it actually takes effort nowadays. But anyway, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.